we are all by one thing. That is love. But why in one instant we see it, another instant we don't see it? One moment we feel it, and the next moment we don't feel it. As if when we are here, when we are doing spiritual things, yes, we are connected. You like this word, eh? And then once we step out, it changes. It's all happen. You see, when we talk about love, we are talking about something which is, the word here is a prem. No? He didn't say pyar. In Hindi, we have two words, prem and pyar. One which is limited and another one which is unlimited. That's why prem is addressed to something which is supreme. It is not just the love that we understand with our mind. Very often we hear faith. You should have faith. No, this is the first step upon in your spiritual life itself, to have faith. And then what you do with that faith? You just leave it like that? Yes, I have faith. I go to the temple, I go to church, and that's it. I have faith in God, but yet I don't even know who that God is. We have an idea, yes. We have heard about it in scriptures. He's like this and like that, but have we experienced Him? We experience Him only through love. There's no other way of experiencing Him. But to have that divine experience, we have to have also the knowledge of Him. Without having the knowledge of Him, that faith will just stay faith. Why I'm saying faith is one thing only, it's the first step to that you step upon, is because that faith have to become trust. And how does that faith become trust? Is when that faith touch the heart of love. The heart of love, which is God Himself. When your faith is so strong that it touches the heart of God, that faith transforms itself into trust. And once trust awake inside of you, it is at that moment that you start to love. Because all the ideas of love that we know about, it was based upon the mind concept. Faith is also similar. It starts with faith because it is a mind concept. But that mind concept can't just stay like that. You can't just say, yes, I have faith, I have faith, I have faith, but yet you don't progress, you don't move forward, you don't grow. But when faith transforms into love, it is the heart which is connecting. When we say we love, where do we point? Here, no? To the heart. When you say I, where do you point? You don't point to your mind. You point to your heart. No? Love comes from here. And that's why you have one of the greatest treasure inside of you. That Atma itself is love. Not the surface love that we play on the outside, but something which is deeper. And when we thread the path of try to get to know, firstly, who we are, It is through knowledge only that we get to know that. Who Bhagwan is, who God is. Okay, yes, we can say, yes, we believe in God, but yet we don't feel Him. We don't see Him as part of our life. Idea, yes, it is there, that God is everywhere, God is in everything. But how many people experience that? That's why knowledge is important. And what kind of knowledge is also very important. Because knowledge transcends the normality of the outside. You know? Without knowledge, you just imbecile in the outside world. You know? Everything that you get, you believe it. You can't use your reasoning anymore. But when you have true knowledge, it is when your heart blossoms into trust. And it happened. You see, it is not that, like yesterday I was saying, there's certain thing that you can do. Trust is one thing that you can't do. You can't just say, yes, I'm going to the marketplace to buy 1 kilo of trust, then I will start trusting. It's not selling in the marketplace. It is beyond. Surrender is the same. Sharanagati is the same. It's not through your effort. It just happened. It is something that happened automatically. Without you noticed it, it happened. There were once a sadhu. Now, he was giving, a saint was giving a talk, a Bhagavad Katha. He was talking about Lord Krishna, the glory of Lord Krishna. In a palace, he was invited to talk. So as when he was talking, a thief went inside the palace. So he went, but he was stuck because there were so many people. So he was forced also to listen what was talked about. So as the priest was describing how Lord Krishna is, how when he was small, his mother used to bath him, dress him elegantly, and then put wonderful jewelry on him. And then let him play with all the gopas by the river, by the Yamuna. So that captivate the mind of the thief. He was wondering, if such a person exists with so many jewelry upon, I should go there. Why am I wasting my time with these petty things here? I should go there and kidnap that little boy. So listening was very amazed about it, about the description from the Bhagavad itself. So he decided he will not rob small things. He will rob bigger things now. So he waited for the priests to finish. As the priest was going home, he jumped with a knife on the priest and said, "Tell me now, where can I find that little boy that you were just describing?" So the poor priest, started trembling. I said, well, you see that he didn't want to dare but say that Krishna happened already long time back. I said, that little boy, he wanted to get rid of him. He said, but this little boy live in Vrindavan. Where is Vrindavan now? Said, I don't know, you have to ask. So he gave him some direction. So it took him some weeks to reach Vrindavan. So as he reached Vrindavan, keep asking, he saw that how the priests describe about Vrindavan, that place, it is there. And it was dark when he reached there. So he decided to climb a tree, waiting for morning to come. So he climbed the tree and sat there. So as the sun was rising, to his amazement, he heard the sound of the bell which the cow was wearing. And he heard the flute, because you see, described in the Bhagavad that when Bhagavan Krishna will go with the cow for herding, he will play the flute and all the cow will follow him. So he heard the flute, and as he was trying to look, and he saw that little boy. And he was amazed to see that him and his brother Balram was walking with full regalia on himself, as it was described in the Bhagavad by the priests. So his mind was fascinated with that. So when seeing the face of Krishna, he forgot about all the jewelry. He was just looking at his face, and he started wondering, such a little boy like that, what kind of mother will dress their child like this and send them to the forest? He became very compassionate. So he climbed down the tree, rushed to that little boy, and he said, are you Krishna? Krishna said, yes, I am. And Krishna said, who are you? You are scaring me. Bhagwan have to play his Leela also. And looking at Bhagwan Krishna, he wanted to caress his face. So what he did? He touched him. So at the moment he touched Bhagwan Krishna, he was filled with a divine bliss. He had never felt it before. That supreme love just awake inside of him, consuming everything else. Then Bhagwan Krishna asked him, why are you here? He said, I don't know why I'm here. He forgot. Because at that moment when Bhagwan touched him, all his karma, all his past karma was burned completely. Only love was there. So of course, Lord Krishna knew why he came. So Bhagavan Krishna said, please, you have come for all this jewelry. Please take it. Let me go. I have to bring the cow for herding to eat. Then he said, no. If I take all of this, will your mother not scold you? I said, no, take it. I have plenty of that. And he said to him, I have come because the priests told me about you. And I'm seeing you so wonderfully. So Bhagwan smiled at him and said, please take. He took all his jewelry, put it in a bag, and handed it over to him. He was not even aware. Meanwhile, Bhagwan and Krishna and Balaram disappeared. So he was left with the bag. So, and he was supremely happy. He rushed to the priest. When the priest saw him coming, He said, my goodness, that is the end. He went there and he didn't find what he's looking for. Now he's coming for me. So the priest, out of fear, he would not run away. He listened to him. The thief, when he saw the priest, he fell down at the feet of the priest and said, by your mercy, I have found the most wonderful treasure. I have found that little boy which you're describing. Now the priest is thinking, but he have gone cuckoo completely. So he opened the bag, and to his surprise, as it is described, the jewelry of Krishna, he saw the same thing in the bag. So the priest says, please bring me to the place where you have found that little boy. I also want to see him. So he took him to Vrindavan. Again, they sit on the tree, and in the morning, for the priest, it was just a normal morning like every morning. But for the thief, he saw again that little boy coming, but only visible to him. So he climbed down the tree, and he told the priest also to come. And he started talking to Krishna. And the priest was looking at him and said, but I can't see anything. So looking at the thief and said to the thief, but I don't see. So he started crying and said, Lord, you have graced the thief to see you. Please have mercy upon me. Grace me with your darshan. So at that moment, Bhagavan revealed himself to the priest and said to the priest, well, he heard the voice only. He could not see Bhagavan. And he said to the priest that, well, you teach the Bhagavad, but you don't believe, you don't trust. Whereas the thief, he have full trust in your word. For him, it was not just a story. For him, I was real. That's why I showed myself to him. So that's what knowledge does, It give you an idea of what bhakti is, what devotion is. And above all, knowledge reveal who you are and who God is. Jai Gurudev, everyone.